It is Tuesday night of Corn Dog Week. I don't have to say anything else. I've got my Fab Four, who's been with me all year. The trot. Hold on. What's that? Get in the call. We've got another Avenger. What? We've got a guest in the blue room. Another Avenger. Send him in.
Oh, Corn Dog Week, baby.
Joining us on Corn Dog Week. My brother from another mother. The not as good dancing version. Arguably not as good looking, but almost as good looking of the James. But the man who did it on the field at Bryant-Denny, number 32 on the field. He was number 1 in all our hearts. Finally coming back to join the Avengers on LSU Week. Get it up for the one, the only, the man, Chris James. What's up, my brother?
What's up, fellas? It's good to be back, baby. Corn Dog Week. You know what time it is, man. I couldn't miss this week, man. I couldn't, man. I had to put everything on. I was like, hold up. Corn Dog Week. Well, everything else is on the back burner, baby.
Absolutely. Look, man, could not be more pumped that it's LSU Week, but it's just a double delight when we got our main man, Chris James, who's been working them sidelines at the high school ranks of Georgia, molding young kids into men. Future and look, memories. He's back with us to spread his wisdom on this LSU Week. We're glad to have him back right next to him, straight out the nursing home, breaking hearts and hips with his dance moves. The better looking, definitely the taller, Dan James. What is up, my man?
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Happy Tuesday. LSU Week. You know what I'm saying? I'm eating corn dogs all week.
Corn Dog Week. Now, they're going to bring the corn dogs. Unfortunately, we ain't going to bring the damn Denny dogs. But you know who is going to bring it? The damn enforcer of this show, and that's one Lushawn. What's up, my man? I know you ready for this week.
You know what? It's Tiger Hate Week. We hate the Tigers. We hate LSU. And you know what? Most importantly, I want to take a moment of silence to remember the fact that we're not going to get a chance to see the look on certain coaches' face for the rest of the season after they lose to Alabama. So this is for you guys right now. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. We got one of my favorite Avengers back in the studio. It's about to get bad tonight. Y'all better bought your drinks because it's gonna get thirsty. Let's go, Petty.
Speaking of getting bad, getting down in the dirty South. Nobody gets more down in the dirty South than the man right next to Lushawn, and that's one Van Edwards. How are you doing, good sir?
Man, I'm good, but I actually got some breaking news for everybody. I reached out to Hugh Freeze Sunday night and got an unofficial letter, and I'd like to read it real quick if I could.
Absolutely.
It says, "Dear Van, thanks for reaching out to me, although I didn't quite understand why you kept putting ha, ha, ha after every other word. I would have loved to have joined this episode of The Final Whistle to give my side of the story, but after what that double agent prick Petty said about me 2 weeks ago, this isn't the best time. Look, I hate what has happened. I won't miss the university, especially that weirdo in the yellow cowboy hat that sells lumber. He even creeps me out. But I will miss the people. People like the players that I constantly throw under the bus. The guy in electronics at Walmart who keeps me supplied in burner phones. Don't ask. Lastly, I'm going to miss Mrs. Swan at the one hung low massage parlor and donut shop. Petty should visit her and relax. If you pass the brick oven pizza joint, you've gone too far. Anyways, it's the people I will miss the most. I might be the scummiest coach fired this year, but I am not the scummiest to ever coach at Auburn. That title belongs to Tommy Tuberville. Maybe I could move to Florida, but still be a state representative for y'all as well. I do at least know the 3 branches of government, especially the judicial side. Again, don't ask. In parting, thank you for the $15.8 million, John Cohen, you goofy bastard. Love Hugh. P.S. I have given Auburn 2 suggestions for coaches who can beat Alabama. Pete Golding and Bill O'Brien. They nearly did it while they were there. So why not? Short and sweet, Hugh, but we appreciate it.
Hugh Free gives a big thumbs up from the bed on that one, buddy.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Go,
Wow.
hit your pause again, Petty.
Well, good night, ladies and gentlemen. That was a heck of a show. We thank you for stopping by the final whistle. Nothing else needs to be said, man. Said it all. That was masterful, man. I left me breathless at so many moments. I don't know what to say. You are correct. I went on a rant a couple weeks ago. I went on one about a year ago that went viral in Lee County, to which I was told by several Auburnites that my mother should have swallowed me, amongst several other very unflattering things about me not being born and offing myself. Here's what I got to say to you, Auburn people. Na boo boo, stick your head in doo doo. I was right. With that said, man, that was glorious. Let's get to LSU week. I mean, there's no other segue after that. We're going to talk LSU depth chart. We're going to talk Alabama injuries, and we're going to give midseason MVP and Lou's calling the timeout.
We got to shed some light on we got to, people to keep the lights on, Petty. Come on now.
Oh, crap. I'm sorry. Yeah, I got to give love to the people that make it possible that we even do this. And that's the people at Whitwell Sports, who I'm finding their email right now so I can tell about this Tides Rising, because obviously I was prepared for this. Hey, I'm on it, man. I'm quicker than I used to be. Sorry, wife. There's a wave rising in the South, and it's not the ocean. It's the Tidal Towel, the ultimate symbol of Bama power, brought to you by WhitwillSports.com. Whether you're in Bryant-Denny or repping from your living room, the Tidal Towel brings the heat. Crimson, bold, unapologetically Alabama. And right now, you can wave yours for less. Use the promo code WHISTLE and check out to get 20% off at WhitwillSports.com. Join the wave the power. Get your Tidal Towel today at Whitwell Sports. Get it on super fast so you can get in that stadium, because you're going to have to fan off the smell of corn dog. It is going to overtake, since we don't have Denny dogs to combat it. With that said, I gave a little rundown. Let's do it. Chris is just sitting there ready to talk a little bit of football. Elephant in the room. I missed this one. Did Bama win the bye week? You want to start this off, Lou? You want Chris to have the red carpet?
I mean, if
I want you guys to go, I'm gonna bring it.
No,
whichever. Hey, let Dan James go. I want to hear from Deacon Dan to start off. We haven't heard from Deacon Dan yet.
Yeah, definitely. Going into the bye week, you want to get healthy, and I say we had a few nagging injuries. We didn't have a whole lot of significant injuries, outside the players that we lost for the year. But you go in, 7-1. We regroup. Now we can reset. And definitely, I think we definitely won the bye week because we had a chance to, rest up, get ready for this crucial stretch run, because that's what we have. We're basically in the playoffs with, we win 2 of the next 3, so I would say we definitely won the bye week outside of, player getting in trouble, which is something we don't like to have or have associated with the university. We make fun of, the team to the east about that. And so, overall, I think the guys have been pretty much engaged and getting better and getting healthy. So, yes, without a doubt, we won the bye week.
Dan? As much as a bye week can be won with getting healthier and or avoiding and you're right, man. If that happens at Georgia, he'd be in the starting rotation this weekend. Thanks, so we win, lose, draw.
Man, look, we all know it's like this for me. Like, as far as the bye week goes, I mean, Did we win it? I can't honestly answer that until I see the future performances. I mean,
Love that answer.
Dre Kirkpatrick Jr. getting arrested. I'm not going to go into detail because I ain't going to disrespect him like that, man. Like, you know, stuff happens. But you are right. Like, I'm pretty sure that Kirby Smart was impressed with the footage.
Yeah.
But anyways, man,
Like, that's starter material. That's team shit. Put a C on his chest.
I know people thought they were going to get away from my game notes this week. Nope. I was forced to watch other teams.
You have bye-week game notes?
Oh, I was forced to watch other games, sir.
That's effing
And I'm going to make y'all suffer just like I had to suffer.
No, well,
What
Van,
game?
let me tell you this, man. You know, I suffered, man, because I have YouTube TV.
I also have YouTube TV. And the hell with YouTube TV.
Yeah.
You know, just another conglomerate stepping on everybody else. But, you know, moving right along. So I did catch a few games. Ohio State versus Penn State. I started with the words, who cares? You know, I owe y'all some kind of breakdown. So basically, the movie, it kind of reminded me of the movie Rocky 3.
I like that.
Rocky's been champion a while, and he's sleepwalking through a bunch of glass Joes, but he ain't found his Clubber Lang yet. And so far, Ohio State hadn't played anybody either. So
Great analogy. That was a good one.
They're going to meet somebody soon. I mean, that game was so damn boring. I think Ryan Day left at halftime to cut a Just for Men beard dye commercial.
Dan, I didn't say it that beautifully, but I told somebody, my crazy Tennessee buddy, I said, what happens when Ohio State gets hit in the mouth? How do they respond? Because they hadn't been hit in the mouth yet.
Absolutely.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt, but that's a good
No,
one.
brother, you're good.
Well, most importantly, it's not that you interrupted. The fact that you interrupted with a Tennessee something.
I don't have any Bama people down here in Tampa to talk to. I got a damn Tennessee.
You got a Tennessee buddy in Tampa and not a Bama buddy.
Yeah, dude, I'm talking about like straight chest tat Tennessee. Crazy as shit. Love him though.
Florida is a weird place.
It's a very weird place.
Moving right along. Indiana versus Maryland. Kurt
Oh, my
Signetti once said, Google me, I win. So I did. And in the 5 minutes it took me to find my phone and type in Kurt Signetti, Indiana scored 55, and Maryland put their terrapin mascot on an endangered species list. Also, did you know the word terrapin is derived from the Algonquin language? Me either, but that's about all I learned from this game. Next.
Meaning the whale's vagina.
Georgia versus Florida. I'd be lying if I said I liked or rooted for either team. Florida made it a game. I'm still not convinced it wouldn't have catch, but Georgia travels well with its referees this year. Moving right along. NC State versus Georgia Tech. Didn't really see
by the
that.
way, screw you, Gunnar Stockton. I had sorry. Nobody falls down at the one in college football. This isn't the NFL. You shove it up your rival's ass, you homo. You took a fall because Vegas had you paid. All right. Go. Sorry.
I can tell you really don't like him. You messed his last name up. All right. NC State versus Georgia Tech. Didn't necessarily see the upset coming here, but wasn't 100% sold on Georgia Tech either. The Rambling Wreck lived up to its name, but they're still in the driver's seat in a horrible ACC playoff appearance. Texas versus Vanderbilt. I would be lying if I said I wasn't rooting for Vanderbilt here. Not that I like Vanderbilt. I don't like any other team but Alabama. But I despise Texas and was disappointed with the outcome of this. Looks like Pavia has a better chance of calling Theo Vaughn his stepdaddy than holding the Heisman Trophy. Also, Arch was there if you didn't know it because they told us 199 times before the game started. By the way, is it me or has Sark aged like 15 years dealing with this squad? Dude, it ain't looking good. Moving along, Miami versus SMU. The month of October has ended, making room for November, bringing along cooler weather, leaves changing, and a nice crispness in the air. Vibrant colors, fall festivals, and the annual Miami Hurricane Choke Fest. Under Mario Cristobal, Miami is 16-2 in August and September, 9-5 in October, and a hilarious 4-9 in November. Rumor has it, Mario choked so hard in the fall, Brazzers has created a new category on its website just for him.
Oh, whoa, that was a deep cut.
SMU won, and Miami is teetering on the edge of falling out of the playoff race once again. If you listen real close, you can hear Carson Beck throw another interception. By the way, he's thrown 21 in 21 games, so hell of a stat, kid.
Damn.
Oklahoma versus Tennessee. Let's see. I just wrote down ha, 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 ha about 30 times. Oklahoma won, and Chum Lee cried into 4 pineapple pizzas. By the way, did y'all see the Oklahoma kicker out there in Daisy Dukes?
Oh, boy.
His pants were thigh length. I told y'all about kickers a long time ago, and I stand with it. If I was the AD, I'd boot him off the team and fire the coaching staff. That's how strongly I was offended by his presence. That shit was so damn short, Nicki Minaj was looking at him sideways. Now it's time to watch Clemson versus Duke. Wow, Clemson has 5 losses already. I can't wait to hear Dabo's press conference as we fire up the Clemson tour bus and try to get it up to 88 miles an hour so we can go back in time to when he was a good coach. He will mention what he has done in the past 33 times and joke around about being fired. In other news, water is wet. And finally, the game we've all been waiting for, the Battle of the Titans, the Auburn Tigers versus the Kentucky Wildcats. Like sands through the hourglass, so are Hugh's days on the plains. Shout out to the folks that had to suffer through their mom's soap operas like I did as a kid. Could have went with Dumb and the Restless there as well. I've seen more offense from France during World War II. The irony of Kendrick Lawson scoring the game-winning touchdown is not lost on me. So I'm really calling this one Bama 7, Kentucky 3, Auburn 3, and we win again. But seriously, hearing these chants of fire freeze is both hilarious and cruel. I thought the barn was all in. This doesn't sound like the "We Are Family" Auburn bumper stickers that I see on so many Subarus that I pass daily on the interstate. In defense of Hugh, he has never been a good coach, and you played yourselves by paying him like one. Any decent coach would rather have his twig and berries placed in a torture device than coach for this shit show university. Unless you're looking for a quick 3-year retirement plan. So if you see an Auburn fan, pat them on the shoulder and say, "You were so close." They love that. And that's my notes, boys.
I would say Bama won the bye week based off those notes.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll go with that.
Yeah. The job was too big for Hugh. Something like he should have. That was way too big for his britches. Lou, you got to follow that up, bud. I don't really know. The floor's yours.
Well, I guess we're gonna have some fun with this. I would say, for the most part, what I've seen from most of these players is that we did win the bye week so far. As far as there wasn't any crazy notion that this team had a bad attitude anywhere in the locker room. They weren't posting crazy on social media. So at least they had their heads where they should be, which is in the damn locker room and the playbooks. And the fact that the coaches really didn't look like they were trying to lie to people this week on what really went on in the practice over the weekend and last week. To comment on the Drake Kirkpatrick thing, I'm not going to comment on the Drake Kirkpatrick thing because you know what? It's next man up at this university. Everybody's got the same opportunities, and it's the next man up. I'm excited to see what they do in that rotation spot. It just gives another young guy, somebody else, an opportunity to step up and make a play. And as you know, at Alabama, you get stepped on or stepped over here. And once you get stepped over, it's hard to come back. But I think that the fact that they highlighted Ty Simpson's leadership and how his work ethic and feelings have just echoed throughout this team, I think says just about all it needs to say about how Alabama handled the bye week. I think Ty Simpson's got this team in the proper headspace going forward. He understands this point in the season and what it took to get here, and he knows it's not wasted on him with the opportunities ahead of him. So I would say as far as that goes, Alabama has won the bye week.
A man who has patiently waited his turn, but also was inside the locker room. And Chris, talking about winning the bye week, I think we're seeing a mentality. Look, Dre stuff aside, that's going to happen with teams. The kid's going to do dumb stuff, make mistakes. I'm not going to crucify him. He'll get his suspension. Either he gets it right or he doesn't. He does. We'll see him back better than ever, But not just the bye week. We hadn't got to talk too much this year, Chris. But yeah, winning the bye week, I think getting healthier is a win in the bye week. But you didn't hear much noise. Aside from the people the Dre stuff, no, you didn't hear much noise in this week. It was just a team. Are you seeing this a mentality of this team that's just different right now that goes back to the days where we're about to see a title? Because I'm getting in winning the bye week. I'm seeing this team. Look, sorry, Chris, I didn't mean to go holistic on it, but we hadn't got you, so I want to go holistic. Not just the bye week. What are you seeing in this team? Has this team got that special thing that you see in the locker room that teams have sometimes?
Yeah, and it starts with the leadership at the quarterback position. We have a guy that's serious and he holds his teammates accountable. And with Ty, being the type of guy he is, you can't help but to step it up because he's not going to allow mediocrity to creep in or complacency. He showed us who he really was after that Florida State game, how they rallied back and bounced back, and every week it's been a methodical approach to winning, man. And it's like he's just been cool as a cucumber, like his hand hasn't been shaky. And just to get through that gauntlet we just went through and to come out, number 4, 7-1. A lot of people had us losing 2 to 3 games by this point, and especially after the Florida State game, they thought, hey, Bama's done. They'll probably be 4-4 or 3-5.
Hell, we all did.
Yeah.
I
it wasn't the offense, really. It was really the defense. But we knew we had Keenan hurt. We knew Jam Miller was hurt. So hindsight, looking back on it, I really believe if we would have had like Jam and Keenan, we probably would have won that game just off of the way you kind of follow suit of your leaders. Like Jam would have been a workhorse that game. Keenan would have plugged up some of that run. But to get back on topic, I really think we won the off week because we're getting Rousseau back supposedly, and we came out the gauntlet without any really major injuries to devastating injuries. We got some guys banged up, but to be able to come out your bye week, rest, and you're back home against LSU. The 2-game stretch with LSU and Oklahoma, which is going to be really going to tell us a lot more about ourselves that we're going to find out these next 2 weeks. To get them home 7-1, the momentum, the crowd. Bryant-Denny is about to be crazy these next 2 weeks. I mean, even Dan and I talked about going down there Saturday and just being around the atmosphere, man. Because whether you to the people who have been during LSU week, it's just a different feeling. I mean, even the Tennessee week, even the Auburn week, LSU week is just because those Cajuns are crazy, man. Yeah. And they get down, they know how to party, they get loose. Yeah. It's a wow, and that's a fun weekend. And it's just
and it's going to be the last one in a while.
Yeah. So. Yeah, because they come out the schedule next year, right? They get back on it in 2027, I think. And then so we won't get them back in Bryant-Denny until 28? So yeah. So man, I think that we won a bye week and we'll be ready Saturday. And it starts with Ty Simpson, our leader.
You're right. Getting healthy, the biggest key was getting healthy, getting Brooks back. I know his was more illness related, getting Horton back, getting another week for Jam to get his feet back under him. I think it's going to benefit Bama much more than it does the distraction plagued program that's coming up from Louisiana right now and all the craziness that's going on in Baton Rouge. Speaking of, we got Chris, you were talking about that real quick, man. You were talking about the how they party and throw down different. If you haven't been around the LSU fan base, you're right. It's something different. Like, my wife was part of the band while you were playing, and then her sister was a part of it as a Crimsonette when my daughter was born. So we were tailgating for every game because we were at it because she was in the band. And, you tailgate for every game, and there'd be fans of other tents that would show up kind of sporadically. I'll never forget getting there with my tent for the LSU weekend, getting it set up, and then getting out there at 8 a.m. and this LSU tent already cooking, everything going full bore. They've got their keg tapped in the middle of the damn quad. They're the only people there, and they're just getting – I'm like, when the hell did y'all get there? They were like, well, our hotel's in Birmingham, and we went out there last night. I said, Birmingham? And they're like, yeah. And I said, this is 8 a.m. I'm like, you're here now? They're like, well, we just didn't go to sleep. We got done partying around 4 and just drove here and started. Never went down. Yeah, man. LSU comes to town. It's different. It's fun. It's going to be exciting. And now it's time to talk about the game, though, because they can do all that partying, but it goes what's going on between the sidelines is what matters. And man, I think there's some glaring holes with this team. I think this group has done one of the better jobs of pointing it out before the season started. And I'm not going to go too far into it because I'm going to let you guys break it down. But let's do it. Let's break down this LSU Scouting Report. Go ahead. What's up, Dan?
Yeah, let me tell you now, you remember a few years ago, LSU was in the same situation. They was in turmoil. There was a little bit of turmoil. They came to Alabama. There was a broken team. A lot of the players had opted out. And I remember them losing and them carrying their coach out the field, the coach going out the field, pumping his fist because they put up a fight. So I don't want to see that again. So they were happy with, being in the battle to the end with Big Bad Bama. So, I want to, I actually want to see us kill a net with a sledgehammer this weekend.
Well, that's the question, right? Frank Wilson's taken over as the interim coach. He's a literal Louisiana legend, like as legend as they come. Coach Joe McKnight, Coach Reggie Bush, been in New Orleans forever. If anybody can get the talent that's on that roster, which there is some talent there to play for those three letters, it's going to be him. But is it enough? Let's talk about it, man. Lou, let's start with you, man.
All right.
Let's go.
All right, let's just jump right into it. LSU's averaging 355 yards of total offense per game, 249 through the air and 106 on the ground. Garrett Nussmeier was one of the top 5 quarterbacks rated coming into the season, and needless to say, he has not lived up to that original billing. Now, it's mainly due to the fact that his offensive line cannot protect him, and he's been sacked 14 times this season. He hasn't really turned the ball over. He's got 65% completion rating, 12 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. So he hasn't been careless with the ball, but he does turn the ball over when pressured, which most of this season's been a lot. He's got a lot of wide receivers. It's LSU. Everybody knows how it goes. His main favorite target is the former Alabama receiver we all used to love in Aaron Anderson. He's balling out for LSU right now, wishing that kid the best, except when he plays Alabama. I'm going to highlight the other just absolute freak on this team, which is Trey Green. He is their 6'7" tight end. Now, this dude in the red zone can be a nightmare, especially in the open field. He is very hard to tackle. He has very strong hands, and he is actually very athletic for how long and tall he is. Pause, everybody. Diddy's in jail. We don't need to do that anymore. Turning it over on the ground side of the football, you got Kalen Durham, 79 carries for 378 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's only averaging about just under 5 yards per carry. They have a freshman phenom in Harlem Barely, who's got 225 yards, a couple touchdowns. He's also just averaging right there under 5 yards per carry. And then they like to throw this little niche where they throw this quarterback, Johnson, in there, who's their third leading rusher. Now, I'm pretty sure once he gets out there, so it's going to be a run. So hopefully these guys are watching film. They're not very good on third down. So if we can get these guys to down and distance, I think Alabama's going to have a good chance to getting these guys off the field. Defensively, it's LSU. They're going to be physical. They're going to try to stop the run. They're going to try to hit us in the mouth, take cheap shots, as many as possible. They got these crazy brothers, the Meeks brothers. They like to puke on each other when they're out there playing defense. I'm not really sure what that's about. Still really weird to me. Some must be a Louisiana thing. They got a couple big defensive tackles that are runs cloggers. Their pass rush hasn't been there. But here's one thing LSU does have that's kind of going to be misleading. They do have the top corner in the league, but their secondary can definitely be attacked. They have definitely given up some major yardage, and Ty Simpson, I think, is going to have a big, big day against this secondary. Fellas, what do you got to add to that?
Fantastic breakdown, Lou. Like I said, Van, what have you seen from this LSU team that even with all the turmoil might give you a little bit of pause going into Saturday night?
Look, man, I can't break it down like Lou can or like the rest of the guys can. Like, I can just give my opinion. So, like, we all know teams that fire the coaches, and the team has a resurgence. Look at UCLA after they fired theirs. UAB upsetting Memphis. You also get teams like Penn State and Oklahoma State who look even worse than they did before they fired their coaches. Here's what I do know. LSU has a ton of talent. They got good players across the board, great athletes at receiver. They got a lot of talent on their defense. I expect them to play hard, if for no other reason than pride. Expectations were high for some odd reason with this LSU team this year. I never bought into that because Brian Kelly was their head coach, and then I think Nuss is an average quarterback, even when he had a great offensive line in front of him. He's not the greatest decision maker. He'll throw picks in bunches against good teams like Lou talked about. It's kind of been the knock on him his entire career. On a personal note, I'm going to miss Brian Kelly and his fake Southern accent. His clueless 1,000-yard stare as Milroe gashed through them for touchdown after touchdown was one of the best parts of 2024 for me. There'll be a lot of guys fired up to play hard for Frank Wilson, but there'll be a lot of mercenaries with their eyes on the door too, ready to go. I think that a lot of people don't talk about Nuss can hurt you in the RPO game sometimes. Like, I've seen him do some stuff this year, working out of the RPO and carve some teams up. He's not going to kill you with his speed, but he knows what he's doing with the ball in his hands. They're not going to blow anybody away with their ground game, but you don't have to have Adrian Peterson in the backfield to run the ball against us either. They're out of the playoff hunt and they're coachless. They also have no athletic director, and their governor's doing the hiring. So it's a Mad Max level of crazy right now.
Governor's hiring this.
You mean Foghorn Leghorn?
Yeah, I say, boy.
I say, boy, we ain't hiring none of them expensive coaches. Why, them big buyouts? I tell you.
So, I mean, we don't know who's going to show up here. Here's what I do look for. I look for Alabama to do some different things in the run game. I expect Bernard to get more wrinkles to open things up, and would be surprised if Ty gets some as well, because he had a few designed little runs against South Carolina that were effective. We're struggling inside the tackle, so we may need to run more to the outside if we can, even though LSU's got the athletes to get there. I expect Ty to be efficient and patient and look for some big plays early. We've seen Bama trying to do some things deep against South Carolina, and I think that'll continue. From what I've heard out of practice, the defense is looking to limit big plays and continue to smother teams in the red zone. So hopefully we can continue to build off that success and try to go forward and play a more complete game. So that's what I'm looking for.
Stuff, man. Well, Dan, you said it out of the gate. LSU, once upon a time, was in this situation and carried a coach off on their shoulder just by a damn moral victory. Do you see them having enough gumption to keep it close, or does Bama? I mean, Bama. Look, I know the name on the jersey, but Milroe. People have talked about it in chat. And we've talked about it, and Milroe roped this team the last 2 years. This hadn't been the tight game. They got it, Dan. Are you worried about it, or is this going to be a Bama romp?
Listen, I'm on the fence about this one. Let me tell you why. Because when I watched the LSU Texas A&M game, and I saw a team that just stopped fighting. You know, they are very, very susceptible to the big play. You know, very susceptible to explosive plays. You know, and I think they made Texas A&M. You know, I think Texas A&M is a very good team. Don't get me wrong, but they made them look a lot better than what they are. So, but that being said, you know, they understand that this is Bama. It's just what kids coming up, hey, we're playing Bama. This is a game we won't see that same LSU team. And so I think they're gonna come in. This will make their season, man. They can win this game and lose the rest of the games this year, and they will be happy with their season. Coach fired, everything, and they win this game, and they will call this season a success. You lose your coach, you finish out the season with a losing record. But if they beat Bama, they could care less, man. They'll feel like this season was a huge success. So I'm thinking you're going to see a team come in and try to, go blow for blow with us, and because it's LSU and Bama, that's what the kids do, and so I want to see us come in with an angry disposition. It's still LSU. We're not playing a crippled team. You know what I'm saying? You want to look at it like, you're playing your arch rival. You're playing your talent equal. So I want to see the guys really get into this game. I want to see the crowd. I want to be an electric environment like we saw with Tennessee. And that being said, every time I say this though, I don't expect the game to be close. So we shall see. I want to see how. I want to see us get in our bag a little bit. The coordinators. Throw some things out there. And I expect Ty to take advantage of the little 20-yard dig that he's been so accurate on this year, that nobody seems to be able to stop. But I expect, to see a lot of big plays from our wide receiver group.
All right, Chris, the floor is yours, man. Can LSU go punch for punch, or is this a game Bama controls?
Nah, I think with the bye week, if we were playing like another week without a bye, I would have been like, yeah, because we're tired, but we're home, man. This crowd's going to be electric. They hate LSU. It's going to be loud. It's going to be crazy. And I think Ty Simpson, kind of stamps his kind of one-ups Julian Sand for his performance last week. And I think that the defense is going to be humming. They're going to rattle they'll take advantage of the LSU O-line, and it's going to be a long night for Nuss. I think he's going to – you remember that time we made who was that we had crawling off the field? Zach Mettenberger?
Menberger, yeah.
Didn't he come work for Bama or something afterwards?
Yep. I think he worked for a year, didn't he? As a GA. I think he did.
Yeah, we're gonna his dad gonna call DeBoer, tell him to call off the dog, Coach Nussmeier. but I think this is a game we control from the beginning, and I feel very confident that we will we'll beat them by some touchdowns this year. It's just one of these type of situations where LSU, it's hard, man. Like when you lose that type of mojo, they may try to come up, put out a fight, but I think Bama like Tennessee did, but I think Bama stuff that push that fire out pretty early, and I think the knockout punch will come in the third quarter, and then that's when we run away with it. But I think we jump on them early.
Yeah, look, man. I think the line's about right. I think it's 10.5. I think LSU may give a little bit of a fight out of the gate. I think Alabama's defensive line has quietly gotten better and better with Pierre making noise. I said it earlier, Smith is probably going to get some dumb penalty at some point in the game. But outside of that, Bama's defensive line, Collins is, stepping up. There's just guys that have been making plays left and right. And I was giving y'all credit earlier. I figured we'd harp on a little more. But LSU's offensive line you can say what you will about Nuss, but nobody's good when you ain't got time to throw the ball. And that kid hadn't had time to throw the ball all year against lesser defensive lines. I think this is a game where, again, maybe LSU makes a play or two, just some Mobe doing it for Frank Wilson. I think Bama starts to pop them early in the second quarter, and by halftime, Bama's got a comfortable lead and then maybe starts breaking some wheels, because I just don't think LSU's offensive line is going to give Nuss time. It's going to be one of those environments where Bama is rabid. You're going to see one of those big hits on Nuss where the ball goes flying up in the air. A Bama defensive player, big defensive lineman picks it up, rumbles 40 yards for a touchdown, and Bryant-Denny just explodes. And at that point, I think the game goes out of hand. That's exactly when that happens. Y'all remember this moment.
Yeah, I agree, Petty. I think if Bama gets gets 2 or 3 touchdown lead late, it's gonna get ugly late. I think this game is a setup where we can put our pass rushers in and just tell them to go eat.
Yeah,
and
that's bad offensive line.
Yeah.
And you can see Pierre get 3 more sacks Saturday night. It's one of those nights, Lou. You're muted, buddy.
We talking about Henry. We talking about Keeley. We're going to break out the whole team.
Yeah, right.
I think this might be the defensive line, the night the defensive lines eats its biggest night of eating.
Crawfish.
Yeah.
Crawfish. Cajun. A night of Cajun food. Guys, we talked about a little bit in winning the bye week. I mentioned on it, but heading into this, let's get an injury status update going into LSU. I know we had, we all know about the concussions going on with Jam and a few guys banged up. We were out. Brooks, lots of air. Well, that was the flu, wasn't it? Isn't that what we ended up finding out? He was sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Brooks, so, what's the health going into this? Dan, you want to start it off? You're usually our newsman on this.
I haven't been up to date with it, but we expect Horton back, Brooks back. Rusau, I don't know what capacity. I expect him to play, though. I'm not sure how healthy he is, what percentage-wise, but I expect him to get back out there and get his feet in, get some meaningful reps. They're going to bring him along slowly. But I expect Jam to be, we're going to continue to bring him along slowly. We won't need him that much. So we're not going to overwork him. But Brooks, I expect him to play a lot. We're gonna spread the ball around, but the main thing is, the finish out the season, go into the playoffs healthy. So I don't expect the guys get a lot of workload going into this, this week, this game. So I expect them to treat it as I don't want to say it, but a scrimmage, pretty much, but it is LSU. But
it is. But let's be real. Outside of the run that Saban built and then was held on to for a while, LSU's not. I mean, beat LSU's ass left and right in the 90s and 80s. I mean, they had a good run. When LSU's down, they're kickable. I don't want to give those purple and gold bastards any credit. Any more depth on the depth chart or injury situation?
Oh, you forgot Danny Lewis is making progress too.
Yeah.
Danny Lewis and Gino Vandermark too are working back to get in the rotation.
Yeah.
But
shut up.
Say it. No, Chris, you here? You got, man, we don't get you enough. Let it go, buddy.
Gino
in a safe space.
Sideline.
You saying he needs to get healthy on the sideline and cheer?
This what we've been seeing, man. This is just, I don't know.
He ain't the only one.
No.
It's been a rotate. That's at this point in the season, there were people were talking about the run game earlier and how to get it. I mean, you are what you are at this point. That's kind of like that position. It's rotating for a reason. You just got to make the best of it at this point. Not missing better. There we go. Mid-season MVP. Boy, actually, this may be a little more debatable than meets the eye. Who wants to start this?
Chris.
Yeah, man, you've been quiet lately. We'll let Van start this one off.
Well, I've been a little long-winded today, so I'm trying to back off a little bit.
Man, don't,
You've
man.
been on fire, bro. You've been on fire.
Look, when you get a letter from Hugh Freeze, you got to read it. And when Bama doesn't play football, you got to watch all these other assholes and talk about it. So it is what it is.
It was damn punishment. But, I'm going to keep it nice and breezy on this one because for me, the choice is simple. The MVP of this team up to this point in my eyes is Jeremy Bernard, and it's not even close. I don't care about
close. It is close.
I don't care about the stats. Throw all that shit out. Bernard is as clutch a player in key big moments as I can remember. Clutch third downs, end of game touchdowns, and probably the best spark to our run game.
Yeah, you're right.
He's been Mr. Everything on this team, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. He's the heart and soul of this team, and a coach would kill to have 22 guys with his will and determination. So I'm going to leave it short and sweet because I want to hear the better answers here, but that's my MVP.
Lou?
Let me go last because I got a list of different people.
Well, you're not going to have much of a list if you go last because that man, we got Chris, MF, and James in the house tonight, baby. And when that gets going, lists get cut short.
Okay, so here's what we'll do. Everybody's gonna list one, Chris, and then when everybody gets done, then we'll let you rattle off your James.
All right. Dan, who's the MVP?
All right. Yeah, it is close, Van, and I'm gonna say, the obvious answer, Ty Simpson.
You got to be.
But like you said, Jeremy Bernard has been very, very important, very valuable to this team. So, if Ty wasn't having the season he was having, Jeremy would be a Heisman favorite. But it's just that simple. But Ty has been amazing. He has been amazing to say the least. And his bad wasn't that bad, So I would without a doubt give the MVP to Ty Simpson right now.
I'm gonna wait on my turn, but rumor has it on the quietest of nights at the capstone, if there's no noise, still silent, and you just listen real close, you can hear whispers come out of Rose Towers that say, Chris and Evan James. Chris and Evan James. Just on the quietest of nights of the capstone, just coming out of Rose Towers, whispering, Chris and Evan James. It's your turn.
Hey, they
had midseason MVP.
They had to quarantine it after Chris and Matt.
It's road golf. Like, you can't go in it. So it may be some people in padded cells screaming it, but it is what it is.
Man, it's Ty Simpson, man. It's simple. But I have another guy in mind, like a recent MVP, but like the whole season, but the last two games.
Nope. You said one.
No.
This one you gave yours.
Oh, y'all saying that is one? Yeah. Hard.
This is something I want to say. Man. I want to
Let him get his two-game MVP.
No shout out yet. Let Lou go first, then we'll come back to you.
No, Petty go.
Nah. Oh, look, man, this team changed when Ty Simpson took it to the next level. Ty's been a field general. He, from the time we saw him early in the season yelling at the special teams to what he's been able to do. Then can you win at Georgia? Can you do all this, man? Ty Simpson's been special. The kid is special. And a lot of people deserve it. Hey, man, Bernard gets arguments, but it's Ty.
Yeah.
For me, it's not Ty, because when we're talking about a midseason MVP, that's someone that has to be defensive to me in the midseason. That's not a field general type of award. That's somebody that has kept the faithful in a room that has been attacked all season, someone that has made a groundbreaking effect in a position room, someone that took a play and basically put it on the wall and etched history in Alabama season. So my midseason MVP, because he stamped his name in Alabama history forever, Xavier Brown, with that Tennessee pick 6, because that's MVP caliber type play right there, y'all. That's my midseason MVP.
There you go.
All right, I'm bouncing this right back up to my man Chris. He was ready to get on a heater. He had
Lou, I believe you stole his.
he had this last 2 game synopsis going on. He was ready. Let's let it go, Chris.
Man,
Shit.
it is Daniel Hill.
Ooh.
He had been playing long enough to be the MVP.
I said the last couple of games. Like, he led us in receiving the last game. Like, think about the plays he's been making these last few games since he's been inserted in the lineup. And think about if he'd have been getting those reps in Florida State.
He was hurt.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying. Because that's the reason why Kevin Riley was getting those reps. But now it's the healing. It's the healing. I just can't wait. I just think it's going to be one more back that's going to emerge for the year over with. And I think it's going to be AK Deer at some point. Because to me, he's the best run out of all of them.
He definitely had the juice.
Most explosive for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Dan, you got another one?
Yeah. I'm gonna say, and this guy's been a pleasant surprise, you know. And listen, this guy went from, you know, we're like, man, we can't wait to, you know, to get him back next year. Listen, this guy could be a day 2 pick, and that is Yanze Pierre.
Shit, more than day 2, he could be a day 1.
Absolutely. There's a premium on pass rushers in the NFL.
Right.
I got another one too. This guy's probably one of the toughest guys on our team. He's the one that's kept Ty Simpson probably the cleanest of everybody on our team. Give me Big Bad Parker, the Bear Brailsford. Right,
underappreciated. I mean, listen, man.
Best center in college football.
Yeah.
Can't say enough about that guy.
Right.
And I think he's the reason that our offensive line is actually kicking some serious ass. That and Jaden Roberts actually being healthy. That's the reason I think that we're going to probably go in and have a pretty successful game on Saturday against LSU, is the fact that our offensive line is not only healthy, hopefully they figured out our right tackle position.
Yeah. But that left side is as stout as any line in the country. That left side go from Cam Dewberry to it's solid.
Yeah, and you think about it. You know, when we got Brailsford out the portal, we didn't think that we'd be missing them with the names of the Landon Dickerson, the Barrett Jones, you know, the Ryan Kellys, you know, and this guy has been phenomenal.
Absolutely.
You know,
I mean, if we're gonna pass over it, I mean, Bray Hubbard, man, like. Bray Hubbard got caught loafing in the first game. Didn't like what was being said about him. Said, "I'll put that on me." Next few games, he started punishing folks again.
Yeah,
forcing fumbles, knocking the shit out of guys. Man, he's been
interceptions.
He's been a warrior ever since. Yeah. Making interceptions. Right. I mean, he's been a warrior ever since. And I mean, you know, he sets a tone, especially down in the red zone.
Right. People not talking about Caleb Downs anymore.
Absolutely.
But think about this, y'all. Think about this. Like, you remember LSU? They had that potent offense, and then at the end of the year when they won a championship in 2019, how the defense came along, how it grew up, it bent but didn't break because they had just enough defense for their offense, and we have a good offense. And when we had the best, I think Grubb is the best situational play caller in college football.
Chris, I was about to say, I think some MVP awards need to go outside the player box as well. Grubb and Kane Womack catches a lot of heat. Kane Womack's done a hell of a job this year. I don't give a shit what anybody says. I think Womack's done an unbelievable job at coordinator. I think Grubb there's times I wish, and maybe this is me being an idiot of the new day, that I wish the third down call, like the fourth down call, was the third down call instead. Maybe you're only even second, but I think Grubb's been unbelievable this year.
Yeah, and think about it. Like you think about it, we have somebody. Well, actually, on the D line, we have a few guys because we have Pierre as that pass rusher. You got to have a pass rusher. You got to have a run stopper. That's Keenan, and you got to have a guy that just disrupt on the defensive line, and that's both Overton and James Smith. You know what I'm saying? Like all four of those. Like we had probably the most underrated D line in the country. Okay, on the second level, that dog on Justin Jefferson, boy, he's
elevated.
He's turned it up. He's turned it up a notch last few games.
Chris, you forgot to mention. You forgot to mention Edric Hill's been tearing it up too.
Oh yeah,
Edric Hill's been a monster.
London Simmons.
London Simmons.
But Chris,
Simmons
you need
can't be double teamed.
Yeah,
Justin
you're right.
Jefferson caught a lot of fire early season. The last few games, Justin Jefferson's played like his ass is on fire.
Yeah,
right. And even with that being said, you think about Nakai Hill Green. He's elevated.
Nakai Hill Green's been stepping it up the last few games.
I think he had to figure out the defense and the speed of the SEC. He had to get adjusted to that, and now he gets it because he was all conference at Colorado. So
he making tackles behind the line of scrimmage. You love that. From linebacker.
And then
now
on the
that
back
he's
end,
figured that out.
Yeah. And then on the back end, you have Zabian, who's been playing well. You have the freshman Lee, who's been playing well. Jones seemed to turn it up since that benching.
Mm-hmm.
Red Morgan has turned it up.
Yeah.
And then you have probably arguably the top 3 safety in college football, and Bray Hubbard. And now I just need to see Keon Saab step it up more. He needs to turn it up, man, because
or put Mincy in.
Red Morgan gets the MIP for me this year, by the way.
Yeah.
He is absolutely the most improved player in the secondary. I thought he was a liability last year, and he's been very solid and not this year.
But listen, I think that's why they moved him to corner during the spring. That helped him out a lot. You know, to get a few reps at corner. That helped him out tremendously.
Hey, if this is just open floor, I'm gonna say the same thing I said about Bernard. Throw the damn stats out. Cuevas has been huge in clutch situations.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been huge. I mean, he has helped extend drives. I don't know how many times, dude. Just automatic on first down, and he's hard to cover, man. And he does the little things well. He's a good blocker. I mean, shit, enough can't be said about him either. We got some good players, man.
Hey,
yeah.
And I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there because I've been pumping this kid. I told y'all in the spring, I told y'all in the summer, and I told y'all in the damn fall. Lottie Brooks is freaking Timothy Jones out there. That fourth down catch that he caught from Ty is MVP like.
Hey, it's just some guys that come in, you know, they're gonna make an impact from day one. That was we knew about Waddle.
Well, look,
like we knew about Ridley, like we knew about Judy.
But listen, man. You know, I'm gonna tell you what's so special about Lotsier Brooks. You know, Ryan Williams last year was outstanding. Let me tell you this guy right here, man. This guy has been a possession receiver in crucial moment. Yeah, Lottie Brooks has been exceptional as a possession receiver, man.
Well, look,
you know,
some of those, if y'all look at some of those, like he has probably had the most high point catches on our team, and he's the shortest receiver in that damn room.
He's working for it, boy.
Hey, I'm telling you, boy, about to come on. Derek Meadows.
Yeah.
Why? Oh yeah.
Yeah. Before that concussion, before he got knocked out, he was well on his way. And then you can't forget about like Rico Scott, man, who's just an animal when he gets the ball one-on-one. He's like he's hard.
It's some guys I don't expect to be in the wide receiver room next year, man. Because I don't know, Chris. I was talking to you about it the other day. But listen, man, I watched Cedarian Morgan, and I don't know why I was sleeping on this guy, man. I watched this guy's film, man, and if there was ever a 5-star receiver,
Dan,
I'm telling you, Alabama, this guy here, man, is one.
Look,
next year's wide receivers class. Next year, our wide receiver room next year is going to be so stupid. If Horton comes back, we're going to have 6'4", 6'5", 3 6'4" freshmen, 3 6'4" freshmen, plus Speed Demons and Ryan Williams back for his junior.
You said the name right there too. We've overlooked Isaiah Horton, man. He's made some clutch ass plays too this year.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean some big time stuff.
Well, now that we have named the whole team and the whole roster,
that's worth mentioning.
Look, man, the MVP. Yeah, it's great. This is a fun debate. It's cute. Ties but what this debate did prove was kind of the question that I asked Chris or was trying to get to out of the gate. I do kind of think this team's special, man. I think there's a lot of players. There's guys making plays when times need to be made. Lawson makes the strip sack. Jefferson's playing with his hair on fire. You get the 99-yard from Xavier Brown. This is just, what's made all Alabama teams special? Players making plays, and it's not always the same guy. It's a different guy almost every night. But then you got some crucial leaders. I think what this debate proved more than anything is this is just kind of a special football team that might have the talent to make a long ass run in playoffs.
It's the pride, man. Like, the standard that's been set before you. Like, you can't bull crap, man. You're gonna hear from us. Like, we're gonna get on your tail. Like, all the former players and we're gonna, in this fan base, we're gonna get on your tail because it's like a level that Coach Saban has brought this program back to. That we've seen.
Chris, you might have brought up just the best point right there. This is a team that after week 1 in Florida State, the fan base, the former players, the AJ McCarron, everybody was. Y'all are a bunch of soft, weak. This is a team that could have took their ball and all their NIL money and this new era and said, and gone home and acted like a bunch of little bitches and succumbed to the heat. Hubbard, he listened to it and instead he ate it. He fueled it. And that may be what really makes his team special. Instead of crumbling to and it wasn't just internal, it was the whole nation. Oh, I told you, DeBoer's done, Bama's done. This is the Bama that lost to Oklahoma last year. This is the Bama that lost to Vanderbilt. And instead, they became the Bama that we remembered under Nick Saban. And maybe that's the biggest testament to this year's team is, man, after week 1, this thing could have gone a whole different direction. And nobody could have taken the Veritas serum from Hogswort and said we expected Alabama to be maybe the best team in college football 9 weeks later. But that's the case, man. Very special, special team. This group.
When you're struggling the way you struggle, all you need is a little Georgia.
That
right.
A little bit of Georgia to remind you that you're Alabama.
Hey, one more guy.
Yeah.
We've mentioned coordinators, but we ain't talked about
kicker.
We ain't talked about. Hell with
You're right.
Kicker. You know better.
There you go. Hey, the punter. Hey, Blake Dowd, man.
All right, give it up for the punter. That's great. All right, the head coach, man, DeBoer. Man, everybody. Some of the Walmart Bama fans done had his ass fired last year after a decent season. Mm-hmm. And then go in like y'all talked about and shit the bed against Florida State and look at the turnaround. He's kept these kids focused. Mm-hmm. He's kept this machine running, man. And I mean, hats off to him. Hats off to the coordinators. Dude, we got something special going on at Alabama, and it's just getting better. When y'all talk about some of these recruits and I go and watch their highlight films that are coming in, holy shit, Bama's about to be even better. This better be scary. I'm telling you, better get your licks in now. Like, we're already, in my opinion, the best team in the country, but we're just going to get that much better. So, so my hat's off to DeBoer, man, because, I mean, he's the captain of this ship.
Absolutely. Good stuff. Anybody else before we get to these wonderful fans that have been waiting patiently for us to answer their questions with our wisdom?
Kalen DeBoer and Courtney Morgan have absolutely freaking cooked.
Courtney Morgan, too, exactly.
Have absolutely done. I mean, they've blown my mind for imagination. And like this class that's coming in next year, I've talked about it with some of these guys individually and in the green room. It is intoxicating because the level of respect for the game that these guys have and the closeness that they all practice on a day-to-day basis, how they talk about their teammates, and they're not even on campus yet, and that's just within their freshman class. That's the energy right there. That's the Kalen DeBoer. And you hear their mothers and their fathers and their family members come online and give their testimonials on just how good of a relationship they have with not just Kalen DeBoer, the position coaches, everybody in the system. And that just goes to show you the attitude and the environment that Kalen DeBoer has created. And that's something we should all be very, very thankful for and not take for granted.
Well said.
Good stuff. No, good way to close that. We want to talk about NDP. It's the guy that's really weathered the storm and got this Bama ship floating back on top. All right, guys. Good stuff. Like I said, let's get to these wonderful fans and the questions they've been waiting on all night from our brilliance. RTR Mimi says, should we pull for Vandy?
Don't they play Auburn this week?
Is it?
I think so.
I know, yeah.
Absolutely, we should root for Vandy. I'll root for anybody against Auburn. Y'all heard me say I would have rooted for 1980s Cold
Yeah, they
War
do.
USSR Russia against Auburn. There ain't no way I'd ever root for Auburn. Can't do it.
There we
Go
go.
Vandy.
Got your answer, Mimi? Yes. Ty Simpson Burner, do y'all think Sheridan is learning from Grubb and being set up as a future coordinator again?
It's different,
Listen,
man. Like, play calling is something that you just gotta have in you, man.
Right.
It's like you could take some stuff, but if you don't understand like
Yeah.
situational play calling is like the biggest thing, like the most underrated thing in football. Like you can be a great play caller, but Sark isn't like a great situational play caller. He's just a great play caller. Lane Kiffin is a great situational play caller. That's the difference between the two. But I still think Grubb and I think Todd Monken may be the two
Very
best.
good, yeah. And let me say, man, shout out to Nick Sheridan because the job he's done with Ty. You know, he's able to do what he was hired to do now.
Yeah,
and that is coach the quarterback. You know, he was a guy that said, "Hey, we got to put you in now. We want you to call plays and everything." He wasn't ready for that. You know, especially with a running back at quarterback. But
Eddie.
That was a problem. Except for the LSU game. They couldn't stop a running back at quarterback.
See, it's all that hating ass talk you do, Petty. That's why Hugh Freeze was bad mouthing you in that letter earlier.
I hate it. Too bad I made it longer than he did.
Yeah.
I tried to tell you, Auburn. I'm telling you this.
I actually said you can't tell me nothing. He had a losing record in the ACC before the sanctions hit it. Ole Miss.
I warn you. Everybody remembers like 2 games, not the fact that he just completely bottomed out with that said program. God, that's great. I've been enjoying it.
Well, Petty, I got a theory. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to bust it, but I'm gonna do it after the questions because I got a theory. You know, as far as who's the next coach going to be at Florida.
All right.
All right.
Love to hear it. Rhett Pridmore, Jeremy Sanders, you talking about 4th and Proctor?
I think he was answering somebody's.
Jeremy.
Yeah.
Big Country Bama Booger.
Great name.
That is a fantastic name. Do y'all think Rusal and Pierre will be on the field at the same time? He's almost back.
They've been before. They even in the first game they were on the field together.
Big Country Bama Booger. What a great name. All right. Was this a after show theory, Dan, or is this one you want to put out?
Yeah, hot take. Let me tell you this, man. Lane Kiffin is going to be the next coach at Florida.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you why.
So you live in the same time machine that the Florida fans do. Let's go. Let's rock. Let's do this.
Let me tell you why. This is my theory.
Okay.
They fired Napier after the Mississippi State win, right?
Mm-hmm.
They did that because they had that guy. Lane Kiffin told them yes. And let me tell you, because if he was already a dead man walking, you just throw him to the sacrificial lamb in Georgia, you know. But they had to fire him because had Florida beat Georgia with Napier, you couldn't fire him then. So they had their answer who their next coach was going to be, and that is why they decided. And they knew Lane Kiffin was their first choice, and they had their first choice. He told them, yeah, Lane Kiffin is going to be next coach at Florida.
Okay. I also wish it was still 1995 and I could do we could fix this again, but it's not. And I'll say this, Dan, if he had told them yes, that means Sexton, somebody would have done it. It would have been in their office. Florida would not have it would have leaked by now. There's no way that wouldn't have leaked in some manner. But maybe he does. Maybe this is the old world and Florida's viewed as bigger, but
yeah, that's the thing. You know, I think Lane Kiffin would be crazy to take that job.
Oh, I think he would too, but yeah. I don't know, Dan. And look,
I don't know what would be crazier though, taking the Florida job or somebody taking the Auburn job where you're never going to be in control, where you got everybody there telling you what to do. We're taking the LSU job where the governor's going to hire you and try to be in your ear. I don't know, man. Florida smelling like a better job.
Guys, you're missing
right at Ole Miss.
You're missing the point here. You're missing the point here. Look in the middle. There he is. Lane wants to create what Nick Saban did at Alabama. The only place in the SEC he's going to be able to do that, where he has power absolute over everything, is at Ole Miss. You go to Florida,
right.
You got that whole whacked society down there trying to tell you what to do. LSU, you don't even know what Cajun's going to tell you how to do your job from week to week. He has a roster and a team that's better than both of those programs. Lane Kiffin is a smart man. He doesn't need to digress his career and turn it into another dumpster fire. He's already made that mistake once. Plus, he's going to listen to his dad Saban when he said, Lane, just stay put. Just stay put. Go to the playoffs. Win your couple seasons. Compete for SEC championships. And then go to the playoffs and see what happens. Because if he goes anywhere else, it's not going to go well for Lane. And I think Lane knows that. He don't want to go to Florida. He already said it. He tweeted out, you're going to have to give me $1 billion to coach at that dumpster fire. Like, I just don't see it happening. Lane's too smart for that.
Do it. Let me tell you. Think about this, guys. You know, all right, say Lane stayed at Bama 2 more years as the offense coordinator. He'd be our coach right now.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
You know, he'd be our coach. You know, if Lane had Tua, if he was able to coach Tua, Mac Jones, Bryce Young.
But then if Lane is still our offensive coordinator, maybe Saban doesn't retire.
You're right.
Because Lane loves this whole little dance of the dancing queens and stuff like that. And if Saban's got him, maybe Saban sticks around for a couple more years. Right. He would have had a decent support staff instead of, I don't even remember the guy we used to have calling plays a couple years ago.
It didn't. God, what was his name?
Tommy Reese. Tommy Reese.
Yeah, didn't he just take over play calling duties at like Cleveland Browns or something? Am I losing my mind?
Exactly. Exactly. Proof pudding.
I don't know. I think it's interesting. I mean, I think a lot of people view Florida through the lens of Steve Spurrier, Urban Meyer, and they hear all the, well, Lane's going to work perfect down there. But I don't. You look at you look since the turn of 2000. It's been a 5-year track. We're halfway through the decade, and he's got Ole Miss. I know how can he win there? How can you recruit there? Well, he just put 7 people in the draft, and he's the second winningest team in the SEC since 2000. It's one more than Florida. I don't know. Maybe he can win bigger at Florida. I'll say this: it comes down to if he thinks he can win a champ. But you know, someone I think Keith said it. Lane's got it made at Ole Miss. I think people and Lou's kind of hinted at this. You've got an athletic director and a president that when you say jump, they say how high. When you buy a dog, they make it. There's stuffed animals of it in the store. And I say that to say it's his program. It's Ole Miss. You know this. Alabama. Y'all know this more than anything. Ole Miss in your lifetimes has been that team that we like them. It's cute. It's fun to go to the Grove because we beat them and they've got all the stuff, but they've never been a threat. It's always been cute little Ole Miss. But now, like I said, so it's not Ole Miss. No, Ole Miss has never had the perception. That's what I was pointing. I was getting to. Y'all have always seen Ole Miss, and now look at them. You turn on game day, they're getting talked about. It's the University of Lane Kiffin. Florida's not going to be the University of Lane Kiffin. He's always going to be behind Spurrier or Urban, whatever. Like Lou said, I think he's finally kind of getting in his head. And why don't you do a chat GPT of top NILs in college football? You know whose names you're not going to see in there? Florida. You know who you do see? You see Ole Miss. You see Missouri. It's a new daggum world, and people have a hard time accepting that reality that in this new world, he's got an AD and a president that when he says jump, they say how high. So then you can go to Louisiana and have the governor Foghorn Leghorn fire you or whoever the hell else. Or then you can go down to Florida, be 9-3, 10-2, and miss the playoffs 2 years and then be fired. Now, maybe that's what Lane wants. And you got to have that difference in you that says, I can change those stripes. I can recruit bigger. But at some point, you got to face the reality that you look in the top 10 and Indiana's number 2. Ole Miss is number 6. Vanderbilt was number 10 up until a week ago. Georgia Tech's fighting in this thing. Guys, this isn't 1995 anymore. And if you take out 1995 to 2008, Florida is no football program. They're 15 years of football. So I think it's a little bit of a myth that Florida thinks they're Alabama, thinks they're LSU when they're really not.
Hey, you can't pick these things. Look at Auburn. They just fired. They're winning this national championship coach of all time. They claimed 6 over the summer.
and then fired him. And you got stuff like that. That's such a heavy job. I don't think people appreciate how heavy of a job Auburn is. You go down there and your expectation is you've got less than, but you're supposed to beat Alabama and Georgia. Jobs. And it don't. But I don't know, man. It's interesting. We'll see. I if he goes, then maybe the times haven't changed. If he doesn't, I think people are going to be a little shocked that college football is different.
All right, Petty. Let's take us out before we lose Chris.
Let's do this. Dan, that's Dan's fault. But, hey, it's one of the hotter topics in football. He's coaching everywhere next year. Let's take it out. Guys, let's finish. Look, it's been a fantastic night. We got the corn dogs coming to Bryant-Denny. You know what would be really nice is if we serve some Denny dogs to drown out the smell. But that's a whole story for another night. Guys, let's beat some coon dog ass. Man, we went way too far off. But it's been a great night. We had the man Chris James back with us in the house. So let's go around. Tell us where we can find you, all that good stuff, and maybe we can get Chris back next week if they're not no, it might be going on a playoff run, maybe after the playoff run, but where can we find you, all that good stuff?
You can find me I'm just playing. On Facebook at Chris K. James Sr., on Instagram at _DB_surgeon, and on Twitter at X at Coach Chris James.
Dan?
All right. You can find me on X at the Final Whistle Dan. You can find me on Instagram, Dan James IV. You can find me on LinkedIn, Dan James IV. You can catch me here every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. The Final Whistle with my Avengers. You know, we almost got the whole band back together. It's coming. It's gonna come. We're gonna have a Avengers reunion. You know what I'm saying? We'll bring everybody back. Most of them.
Man, hopefully we get if we can get Matt back in here, the whole band will be back together.
Right.
Look, y'all already know. Y'all can't catch me on nothing. I got a Facebook if you want to follow that shit. If not, cool. Other than that, it'd be like that Dr. Phil show with that girl on it. You can catch me outside though. How about that? Other than that, man, I just want to say thanks to everybody for showing up, commenting, keeping it live, keeping it funky, keeping it fresh. Thanks once again to Whitwell Sports and Title Towel. And I'm going to try to put in for that Auburn job and get me a quick payday. So other than that, y'all see me next Tuesday night.
There you go. LeJean.
Well, wow. Hell of a show, guys. Love when the Avengers get back together. I'm Lucian Graves. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram as Lucian Graves. You can also find me on X, Twitter, whatever they're calling it these days, at 4RowLush1 or 456 at the 456 final whistle. You can also find me on Saturday mornings right here for the Saturday AM Scramble. Me and my guys mix it up about the top 25. It's a great show. We give you the money lines and what's going on. We're going to give it a nice rundown about what's going on with the playoff bracketing and all that good stuff. And you can find us also Saturday night for the post-game show after Bama gets done taking care of business.
I'll be there.
You know what? Oh, Dan going to be there.
Yes, sir.
And Dan going to be there. So you know it's going to be a hot night. It's going to be a great weekend. I'm pretty sure Petty's probably going to be doing some double agenting Ole Miss type of shit. So
No, not that. Not Saturday. It's all tied, baby.
oh shit, it's all tied, baby. You know what, Petty? On that note,
Roll Tide.
Roll damn tide. I'm Chris James, bitch.
He woke up. He woke up.
Woo!